Hello ACP colleagues, new fellows, award recipients, and anyone else who has chosen to log online. Speaking to you remotely was not at all what I could have imagined when I took office as ACP President a year ago in Philadelphia. I had hoped for an opportunity to welcome new fellows at our Convocation Ceremony, review what fellowship in the college means, and try to put that in the context of some of the activities and accomplishments of the college over the past year. Circumstances with the COVID pandemic have dramatically changed our world. Fellowship in the college is a wonderful accomplishment, and I want to truly congratulate all of you new fellows this year. While this accolade represents so much, it is overwhelmed by the public health crisis that has become an integral part of our daily lives. We are struggling professionally and personally with the ways dysfunction in our healthcare delivery system has made it ever harder to manage all ensuing medical problems. As we do what we can to help sick patients, as well as to lead and organize hospitals, clinics, and our own offices to use sometimes limited resources to provide necessary care to as many people as we can, we must remember to care for each other. We are on the front lines, managing difficult medical problems, which physically and emotionally take a toll on us, as well as on our patients. I'm reminded of remarks made at the opening ceremony of last year's meeting by former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy. He spoke about social isolation as a growing problem in many facets of our lives across society. The social distancing and self-quarantining that is necessary to manage this viral pandemic are in fact mandating isolation. We can anticipate that will be a problem for many people, especially when addressing the emotional burden that will predictably develop over time. I believe we need to very explicitly address this problem for our profession's future. In my final monthly President's Message, I discuss struggles with the medical industrial complex as a battle for the soul of medicine. I believe this crisis is demonstrating the critical need for a strong public health infrastructure and the need for our country to have a system whereby healthcare is universally accessible and affordable. But here and now, as we are figuring out how to manage this current viral pandemic, we must address the isolation problem in our own profession. The occasion of our Convocation Ceremony celebrates coming together in fellowship. So what does the word fellowship mean? Companionship, company, community of interest or activity? Etymology of the word begins with the Old Norse word for a partner, philagi, which means literally one who puts down property. Such people were those who laid together their property for some common purpose. Old English borrowed philagi from Old Norse and called a partner a theolaga. This word has come down to us through several centuries as modern English fellow. As a fellow of this college, you have achieved a certain recognition. But achieved is past tense. And I would like to think of this more as a part of the ongoing journey that we are all on to be better physicians and be better people. Becoming a fellow is not just a resume building exercise. I think I speak for all in college leadership who feel that work in the ACP really conveys a higher purpose and meaning to what we do as physicians. There's no doubt that the most important thing we do as physicians is to take care of patients. That is our purpose. That is our meaning, and that is the reason we went into this field. It is hard to believe it was 1 year ago that I started in this role as your president. Many asked me at that time what was my goal or theme for the year, and I really was not certain how to answer at first. I knew that I wanted to focus on the meaningfulness of our work, to pause. Think about what we really do in each moment, in each interaction, how we listen, how we show we care, how we spend time with patients, how we use our expertise to treat patients, how to optimize the roles played by others on our team in the complex processes that healthcare delivery has become. And so I considered how I could encapsulate some of those ideas into my remarks when I actually took office at the annual business meeting a year ago. As I contemplated, I realized I've felt for a long time that what we do is so much more than just providing care. And so, at that business meeting last year, I thought I would make some reference to my concerns over the too frequent use of the term provider when referring to us physicians. Half in jest, I asked all at the meeting to take a physician not provider pledge, promising not to use the word provider to refer to physicians and to encourage colleagues to do the same. The feedback I received was striking, and it made me realize how much words matter. As a result of that experience, my theme for the year was an exploration of the words that describe what we do, what we really mean, what we want for them to mean, and sometimes how others are erroneously defining them. I asked others to join me in that physician not provider pledge at many meetings throughout the year, but I'm not going to do that today. Rather, in an effort to combat the threat which isolation poses, I would like you to join me now in a new pledge. I pledge, as a member of the ACP, to combat isolation of my colleagues, and hereby pledge to make contact via phone, video, or in person every day with at least one colleague to sincerely inquire about their personal well-being and personal life outside of a clinical context. I recognize that we must support each other emotionally in these challenging times, and I personally must do what I can to act on the full meaning of the term fellowship. Isolation is truly a significant challenge. As physicians, we understand that human connection is everything. The college emphasizes the sacrosanct patient-physician relationship in all our policies and advocacy. We all yearn to be true healers, providing comfort, compassion to patients, especially in times of need. It might include curing, but it might not. The current pandemic forces physical isolation of patients dying in the hospital, unable to have family and loved ones at the bedside. How devastating for everyone in such situations. We cannot change that medical necessity for such isolation for the safety of many others, but we can do what we know possible as healers. Try to ensure you or a member of the care team is providing whatever comfort possible to patients as they are preparing to draw their final breaths. Reassure them that you are passing on messages from their loved ones and communicate with those loved ones and help them find solace in a difficult time. The emotional toll of this isolation on individuals will be large and with us for a long time. The little gestures and touches, even remotely, are so meaningful. We all know, but need reminders in these hectic days delivering care to try to pause, consider the emotional component of everything we do on ourselves and on those around us. That is what makes us healers in the truest sense of the word. We live in challenging times for the delivery of healthcare, and the COVID pandemic has magnified this in ways we still do not fully appreciate. The system is not designed to make it easy for our patients to get care paid for, or to allow us to deliver it in the best ways possible. There are many other forces at work, some of which may help, but some of which may actually hurt, largely because they see the healthcare delivery system as an area ripe for profit. This is not good for patients, and we must push back. The college decided it was time to truly follow our ethical principles, not only in the exam room regarding patients individually, but also regarding doing what we can to improve our healthcare delivery system for all patients. We see this as a critical part of our mission. The new vision papers, as we call them, were released in late January with wide acceptance for the principles and suggestions made. But there are forces that do not want their ability to extract profits to be limited, and we must battle that hydra, as I called the medical industrial complex in my final President's message in the ACP Internist. I think all in healthcare can see that we are entering a new normal. Just consider the newfound appreciation for infectious diseases, the public's understanding of the meaning of the term contagious, the broad recognition of the critical role of public health, the recognition of the role that remote delivery of care can and must play in how we deliver health care, and recognition of the complications inherent to the linking of health insurance to employment for so many millions of Americans. And so I ask for your help and ask you to join us in this Herculean effort. I refer back to that definition of fellowship. It is a gathering together of similar or like-minded individuals with a common purpose. I envision ACP fellows gathering together in the struggles ahead. The college needs your help if we are to make our healthcare system work for our patients. They are our true north, and we can never forget that. It has been a remarkable honor to serve as your president this past year. I have treasured the opportunities to meet with you all at meetings across the country and across the world. I've been constantly reminded of the power of questions, the inquiry to find out how and why other people do things differently. Learning what works and what doesn't work in other cultures and countries is quite enlightening. I had so looked forward to seeing many of you colleagues and friends in person at this year's Convocation Ceremony to truly share in the fellowship that meeting affords every year, but other important matters intervened. I want to thank the remarkable family at the ACP with whom I've worked closely, especially over the past year, the energetic and dedicated staff doing so much work behind the scenes to help the college and all its members, and the many physician colleagues on the Board of Governors and Board of Regents with whom I have worked for many years. I would not be here today without the support of my family, my two sons, Jack and Will, who keep me humble, and my wife, Kathy, who always supported my parallel life in the ACP universe and understood how much it meant to me. And finally, I thank all of you physician colleagues. Now more than ever, we must work together with common purpose to care for our patients and work toward a better healthcare system. Thank you.